today I'm here to do my Degrassi review of episode 23 and 24 because this was an hour-long special. So in the beginning of the episode, it shows Zoe and she's kind of having a flashback of Miles' party from the other night, and it looks like she got raped, and I'm just like, are you serious? And I'm like, I knew this kind of thing would happen because it is a party, and yeah, it was kind of weird, like you just leave her alone in a pool house, like, I don't know. I mean, it's just bound for someone to come in there. But I didn't know she was going to get raped. You know, Miles and Maya, they're like, I don't know, going through their problems. And he actually tries to buy her forgiveness. And it's not all, like, completely because he wants to. It's because she's hers. He believes that, like, Maya's his good luck charm, so he's like, oh, I need you to forgive me so I can play good at basketball. And I'm just like, are you serious? Like, you don't tell her that. And it's such a stupid reason. Like, you're not even, like, 100% sincere about the apology. You just think you need me to win your freaking game. So, like, I don't understand how he thought that was supposed to be okay. And so then, you know, Becky starts looking into the whole Zoe thing. And, like, she's going through, like, the videos and stuff, and they think that the guys, whoever carried her into the pool house, are the ones who raped her, but the ones who carried her in were Miles and Winston, which they don't know, of course. But I'm just like, well, no, it wasn't them, because they were out partying or doing whatever, you know? And I'm just like, I hope she doesn't figure that out, and if she does, I hope she doesn't, you know, think it's either one of them, because it's not. And then Tristan is actually helping Miles, like, plan a big gesture for Maya, which I thought was sweet. So I'm like, that's nice, and I'm like, hopefully it's 100% sincere. And also, Becky is trying to do a whole, like, since she found out about Zoe, she's doing this whole thing about why teens shouldn't drink or whatever, something for DTV. And I don't know what she's thinking, but she's going up to people and she's like, hey, how many drinks have you had? And it's like, what is this for? Like, why am I being filmed? Like, Claire, she was like, is this going on DTV? And she was like, yeah. And she's like, oh, well, then none. And Becky thinks she can't find anyone, but it's not the fact that you can't find anyone, it's the fact that you're asking people on camera, and you're going to be broadcasting that to the whole school, so it's like, nobody wants to be ousted for underage drinking. Like, Becky, you can't go up to people like that. And, you know, she asks her brother for help, and he tells her to, like, do it secretly, and I'm like, yeah, because you can't, like, you don't just go up to someone and be like, hey, do you drink? And they're under 21, like, why are you questioning me about this? Am I gonna, like, are you on, do you have a wire? Like, it just doesn't make sense. I thought it was, like, I mean, I guess brave? Not brave, but it was very bold of Zoe to just ask Miles, like, outright if they slept together at his party, and I'm just like, well, you didn't, you know, hide that at all, like, you just said it. And, of course, you know, they didn't. And, yeah, so, you know, that's confirmed that Miles definitely didn't do it. And then, you know, Becky's still investigating this whole thing, and she starts going on about how Drew and Zoe just broke up and all of that. I'm just like, she doesn't think Drew did this right, because I'm pretty sure Drew sailed the whole Zoe ship once she got her mom involved and tried to accuse him of basically raping her or pressuring her, you know? And, you know, it wasn't him, because he was on his goose chase, and Becky actually does think it's him, which I'm like, why would he? I mean, I guess, why wouldn't he too, but it just wouldn't make sense for him to do it. And she created a whole Zoe wall, which I'm like, that's so cool. And I've, like, always wanted to do that, like, not in a real life experience, but, like, I guess, like, a game where you have to pin it on the person and you make a wall. Like, if you guys watch Teen Wolf, Styles has that kind of wall too, where you, like, connect people with strings and notes, and I just think that's really cool how people do that. And, you know, in the video they find out, well, yeah, they find out that it's, like, people from a sports team, which I think it's the basketball team, because they have these certain jackets or whatever. So that happens. And so now they know it's an athlete at least. And then the scene cuts to Zoe and her friends or whatever are practicing for the sing-off, and I'm like, oh, they sound really good. And you know, they're interrupted in practice because apparently the video's leaked or whatever. And I just feel bad for Zoe because she's like, oh my gosh, she's like, I can't believe, you know, people are actually seeing this. And yeah, and Becky actually does think it's Winston and Miles, and I'm just like, are you serious? Like, it's not. I know she's just going off of whatever, but it seems like she's like jumping to conclusions too fast. Like every single person, that new person that pops up, she's like, oh, it must be them. They're an athlete. Like, it's not them. And then I just had a feeling that Becky was gonna show the tape during the sing-off. Like, I don't know, she's kind of impulsive like that, so I'm just like, I really hope she doesn't do that. I thought it was cute how Tristan helped Miles do the big setup with the whole sing-off thing, and Miles sings to Maya, and I'm like, oh, that's cute. I mean, he can't really sing, but it's a nice gesture. And yeah, so that happens. And then Becky decides to take the videos or whatever, like all her evidence, to Simpson, and I'm just like, what are you doing? I mean, I understand she's trying to help, but I don't know. And then when she gets to him, he's like, oh, this needs to be taken to the police. And she's like, well, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. What makes you think it's not a police problem? Like, the girl got raped. That's a police problem. Especially if you don't know who did it. Like, yeah, yes, Becky, it's a serious issue. Like, you can't just go to the principal with it. I mean, I don't know what she was thinking. Like, you didn't know that this was, like, the police could possibly get involved in this. It's a real problem. I don't understand what she was thinking at that time. And then Becky, she's accusing, you know, Winston and Miles of doing it as she brings this to Simpson, which puts Miles back in the doghouse with Maya because, you know, that new piece of evidence comes up and she's just like, what? She was like, you know, basically looking at Miles like, do you have an explanation for this? And so that screws up that whole gesture. And then, yeah, and then I just feel really bad for Zoe because she doesn't even, like, she doesn't remember a thing. Like, I guess all she remembers is whatever that flashback is at the beginning. And, yeah, I'm just like, well, this, like, it really sucks. And I don't know. She just seems really hurt. I mean, this happens, and the whole Drew thing happened, and it's like, I don't know. And then Winston comes up to Simpson, you know, since he and Miles are suspects, and thankfully he has proof that it wasn't them because, you know, at the time of Zoe's video, and then I guess, and then the time that Miles and Winston are outside of the party, it's at the same time, so that means they weren't in the pool house, you know, they were out and about, so that gives them an alibi, thankfully. And I felt a little bad for Becky because, you know, she kind of got yelled at for making that false accusation, but I don't know, I didn't feel that bad. And then I thought about it because, you know, she's talking to her brother throughout this whole thing about, like, what she should do and what, you know, she just needs advice. And I'm just like, what if it was Luke? I think that's his name. I was like, what if it was her brother? Because, you know, he had that whole, I can't think of it now, but he had that whole issue before where, you know, they're supposed to be the children of, like, holy people, religious parents. And, you know, her brother isn't like that. So I'm just like, what if it was him? Like, so that was on my mind. And then Claire ends up, like, blaming everyone at the party because of the whole Zoe thing. And I'm like, how are you going to blame everyone? And I guess you can blame some people because, like, yes, they did leave her in the pool house by herself. But I don't know. Okay, there's no explanation for that. But I don't know. You can't just, like, go off and blame everyone. I mean, Zoe's the one who got drunk in the first place. So, starts with her. No offense. And I thought it was funny how Winston was like, Miles plus Winston equals not purrs. And yeah, it just sucks that Maya is mad at Miles again because they were mad. And then he just got in her good graces again. And then she's mad again. And I'm just like, yep, this is working out perfectly. And Zoe ends up going to a doctor, you know, to check if she has any diseases or anything, which thankfully she doesn't. Like, and when that whole scene happened, I thought back to like Allie and what's his face, and I'm like, this is exactly like that, except it wasn't rape. Like, she wanted it. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't know, it just reminded me of it because, you know, they both didn't know if they had a disease or not. And yeah, I'm like, I'm glad she didn't catch anything. And you know, she tested for like actual rape, and I was like, that's really sad. And then some people were mad at Zoe, and I'm just like, what? I'm like, how are you gonna be mad at her for something like, it's not her fault? I mean, sure, she got drunk, but you know, you're not supposed to be taking advantage of people when they're not in the right state of mind. It doesn't make sense for you to blame her. And then I thought Miles was being really insensitive when he was asking Zoe to talk to Maya for him. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, as Zoe, I'd be like, I was just raped. And I don't even know what happened. I don't know where I was. I don't know who I was with. I don't even, like, she doesn't even remember being put in the pool house probably. And, like, all this stuff is going on with her, and you're worried about your girlfriend being mad at you? Like, give me a break. Oh my god. Like, I just thought that was so insensitive of him. You know, it turns out I was right. My theory that Becky's brother was involved, and you know, he was the one who did it. And I was just like, and it's kind of sad the way Becky finds out, because you know, people are putting the ideas in her head or whatever, and so she takes his phone and she finds the pictures, which, what a dummy. Like, I don't understand, because I would think that most people in real life would be smart enough to delete the evidence. I mean, yeah, like, pictures are never really gone, but if someone takes your phone directly, why is the evidence still on there? Like, are you an idiot or what? It just doesn't make sense, but whatever. He had them on there, so she knows, and, you know, she goes to Simpson with it and everything, and yeah, I'm just like, what? Oh, and before she does that, like, I guess she's giving him a chance to confess by himself, and he actually goes to Zoe, who's like, I guess she's trying to do self-defense or whatever, but he goes up to Zoe and he's like, don't tell people, and he's trying to manipulate her into not telling, and I'm like, what is wrong with these guys thinking they can just talk girls into not telling about what they did to them? Like, are you serious right now? Especially since this is Degrassi, like, everything gets out one way or another, whether it's through a breakdown or like regularly. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't understand why these guys think, oh, let me just talk to her, like, I can just call her honey and sweet thing and everything will be fine, because so what if I raped you? We're still friends. Like, no, that's not the case. That's such a big problem. And I just can't, like, it's so annoying. It's so annoying how they're trying to manipulate these girls. And yeah, I'm really glad Zoe didn't listen to him and everything. And literally that whole scene with her and Luke, like, her confronting him, is so sad, because like, he's still denying it, and he's making her look crazy. I mean, she does look crazy because, you know, some people don't know what they're talking about, but I just hate that. Like, I hate when people make other people look stupid when they know the truth. Like, don't do that. I mean, I get it, like, from the villain side, you're trying to protect yourself, but on the good side, it's like, you, like, how insensitive can you be? Like, oh my gosh. I don't even know the words to express myself, honestly, because it's just so, it's so annoying, and I don't get it. You know, Zoe's just, she's just breaking down on him. I'm like, oh my gosh, can somebody please get her? And thankfully Becky gets her, and you know, she's like, no, it's true, I saw him. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, I can't believe she actually did that. I mean, Becky always does the right thing, but you know, it's just shocking because, you know, typically people protect their family, but I thought it was nice of her, like, on Zoe's side. Like, it's nice that you confessed. Like, and that's your brother. Like, do you know how big of a gesture that is? Normally people would protect their family for anything, but thankfully Becky's honest like that. That was probably so nice. And so all that happens, and I guess it's the next day or whatever, and Zoe comes into school and she has like her little support group, which is so cute because I love that. Like, Degrassi is just such a nice show, and I think, okay, this sounds weird, but it'd be kind of nice if real life was like that. Not like with all the drama, but like the whole stuff after the drama. Like, there were actually, like, the people that were there before are actually there to support you. And even people you barely talk to, like Maya was even there to support her. And she let her hold Miles' hand. I thought that was so cute. She's like, you don't mind if I hold your boyfriend's hand? She was like, not for this day. I'm like, aw. I'm like, why can't people be that nice in real life? Like, I don't get it. And then, you know, she hugs Becky and she's like, thank you. And I'm like, aw. And that whole, like I said, that whole scene was so cute, and I just love it. Because they just walk away, you know, trying to make her feel better. And yeah, so everything, I guess you can say, works out because, you know, Luke's in trouble or whatever. But yeah, so that happened, and that's Degrassi for you. And I absolutely love this show so much. I've watched this since forever, since like the Paige and Spinner days, which you won't know what I'm talking about if you just started watching this, like, I guess 3 years ago, and up to now, I don't know. But yes, I love this show so much because it relates to real life, and I think everyone should watch it, and I think everyone should tell their friends about it because it's such a nice show, and it kind of shows you how to deal with stuff, and then they give you those help websites and everything. So yeah, that's my review, and thanks for watching. Doodles!